So this section is called solving for a variable when there are no numbers. Sometimes there are formulas that can be written with all variables or maybe just one or two numbers throughout the whole thing. Some really common examples of those kind of formulas would be like the area of a triangle formula. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. Then you've got area of a rectangle. Area is base times height. Or you can see length times width. Area of a circle, area equals pi r squared. Pi is a number, but still it's just a symbol, doesn't really feel like a number. Perimeter of a rectangle has a couple numbers, it's got 2's. Perimeter equals 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. So perimeter is just adding up all the sides, really. Or volume of a prism, volume equals base times width times height. All these are examples of formulas that are used regularly that don't have a lot of numbers to them. There are going to be times you're going to be asked to solve for a letter that's in that formula. Alright, so it's going to be a letter that's not already by itself. So to solve this, you're going to do the exact same thing as what you've been doing when it has numbers, except you don't have the numbers to work with, so you're going to leave it that you're not going to be able to add a B plus an A, for example. So just like what you were doing, to undo addition, you're going to use subtraction. To undo subtraction, you'll use addition. You're going to undo multiplication with division. You'll undo division with multiplication. Those are the inverse operations for each other. So each problem will be a little bit different. So you're going to have to think about what you're doing. I can't give you an example that is exactly what to do every time because it's going to depend on the formula that you have sitting in front of you. So let's do some examples. So solve for the indicated variable. We have volume equals base times height. Alright, maybe it's not volume and base times height because volume has to have a third dimension to it. So maybe they represent completely different things. But in this formula, we want you to solve for B. So to get B alone, we need to undo the multiplication of that letter H. Alright, so to undo multiplication of H, I divide both sides by H. So at this point, those H's are going to cancel out, and I'm going to be left with V over H equals B. I can't actually divide H into V, so I just have to leave it as a fraction. And that would be the final answer when I am trying to get B by itself. Alright, so another example. Solve for area equals 1/2 base times height for height. Now that is a area formula for a triangle, so I know that that's your A represents area, your B represents base, and your H represents height. So to undo that times 1/2, that bothers people sometimes, it's a fraction. Alright, so times 1/2 is the same as divided by 2. It's the exact same thing. It's just written a little differently. So to undo division, I use multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So 2 times the area equals 2 times 1/2 base times height. I just multiplied 2 on both sides. Once I do that, the 1/2 and the 2 are going to totally cancel out. So then I need to undo the multiplication of B times H. So I'm going to divide by B. When I do that, I have 2A divided by B. Plus, there's nothing I can actually do to it again, so that's just going to be it. On this side, your B's will cancel out. So your final answer is going to be 2A divided by B equals H. Don't overthink these kind of problems and don't let them freak you out. You can't do anything to it. This is it. You just get your letter that they're looking for by itself and get everything over to the other side using inverse operations, and you're done. See you in class.